For the first adventure with a base camp, I went to the Malvern Hills with my brother. We stayed at the Malvern Caravan Show, where on Friday we looked around the new and used caravans and all the other gadgets you can get for your caravan or motorhome. In the afternoon, we walked along an old railway track into Great Malvern to get some supplies. In the afternoon, we hooked up some lines to dry off our tea towels on the base camp and then settled down in the evening for some TV and movies before heading to bed. The next morning, it was raining heavily, but undaunted, we headed out after breakfast and headed up into the hills for our first major walk. The Malvern Hills don't look very tall or very steep, but you'd be surprised. After an hour and a half or so walking and climbing, we eventually got to the top in the rain. When you get to the top, it opens up. There's a great path along the edge and you can get some fantastic views, and we saw some great views despite the mist and rain. About halfway along the top of the Malvern Hills you'll get to British Camp. There's an ancient fort there and also there's a cafe, but we pressed on along the top of the hills. Soon enough you turn west and head into the East Castle estate. It's a great place with great parkland and some amazing views too. The landscape might look gentle, but you'd be surprised. It is incredibly hilly and steep in places, and you get some great walking as you head west to Ledbury. Ledbury's a pretty town with lots of timber frame buildings. We stopped there for lunch. After lunch, we headed north towards Oyster Hill. The weather improved and the sun came out. We passed through various orchards on our way to Colwellstone, where we crossed over the railway line. After the bridge, we reached the Malvern Hills again, where the sunshine came out for some great views, and we climbed up the steep hills back towards the base camp. That was a long day in the hills, so we rested and had a big meal that night. On Sunday, we headed west in our car towards the little town of Morderford, where we set off into the beautiful countryside and walked through ancient woodland, ancient tracks, and past Tudor houses. Walking in the Malvern Hills and the Herefordshire countryside really has to be experienced. It's beautiful and can be challenging and well worth it. The base camp is perfect for this type of weekend. It's comfortable, cosy, easy to cook and live in, and it's easy to keep clean when you've got muddy boots and kit after a day in the hills.